Better?
Can you hear me now? All right. Yeah, great. Sorry, I forgot to plug the mixer in. This shit happens, man. I got everything going aside of the mixer. All right. Thank you all for being here. We got 7. That's good. So anyway, I could start this off, but if anybody has any questions, please put them into the chat box and I'll get right to them immediately. Anywho, so man, I guess I should begin for a third time. I was sitting here today and I thought, nothing better to do. I should probably get on and do a Q&A. Haven't did one in over a year. So, I'll be answering any questions from Bigfoot to the Delphi suspect. Anything that you have. Anybody. Anyone. Hello. Okay, 9 people here. That's okay. You know what? I'm a bong guy and very much enjoy a bong. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, man. You got a question in there. Just threw it right out, Okay, I guess I'll just talk then for a while. Okay, I was born on a cold fall day in 1965 in Kokomo, Indiana. We moved up to Niona Lake when I was about 5. And then the chat box disappears. It never just goes well for me. Never really does. It'll be right back. No worries. Chat box, please. If you don't mind, chat box. Thank you. Oh, okay. It came back and disappeared again. Man, maybe this wasn't a good day to do a live stream. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I should have just screwed the Q&A and been done with it. Nice tie. All right. Yeah, of course I am. Okay. Why do I think it hasn't been solved? Law enforcement, 100%. No other way to look at it. If law enforcement was out there working like they were off the go, they would have had the guy. And now, look at it, man. It's been over a year and a half. I don't know. Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, we ain't even talking about it. Yeah, we got one guy working the case. Yeah. He's going through the rest of that 35,000, man, throwing darts. So, anywho, let's see. Anything else right there? I can't think of anything. Yep, you have a minute. How is everyone today on this fine Saturday? Cold. It is cold as hell in Indiana. Well, you know why? If it's under 70 degrees, it's cold as hell to me. Yeah, and I agree. I talked to Lesenby about that and others. I said, you know what? All we got is a shitty snapshot that you want people to identify him with. 35,000 people have. No one was correct. So, if they could just release that video of him taking a quick step, even if the camera's moving, no audio, that would help immensely. So, I hope that they do that. Lesenby had told me that, well, if this don't work, then we've thought about that. Yeah, that's been a year ago. 95 yesterday? Shit, you know what? Day before yesterday it was 91 here in Indiana. And today, cold as shit. Love the smock alien. It's the best vape on earth. I've only used 3, but okay. Any other questions? Because I don't want to make this a very short Q&A. Anybody? Let's talk about my life. Let's talk about me for a minute. Guitar player, metalhead. Today, this is Got Cookies by Fat Kid, and it tastes like a Toll House cookie just dunked in milk, right out of the oven. Great taste. Love it. Chat box disappeared again. Anyway, I play guitar. I'm a metalhead from the 80s. Started playing guitar when I was 8. Don't practice often, but why haven't they got BG yet? Law enforcement. Play. Okay. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, very little punk, maybe a little bit of Clash back in the day, but more like pre-80s metal, you know, like Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, in that, then going into like Ozzy Osbourne, the hair metal, especially of the early 80s, not that shit at the end of the 80s where it went all ballady and pussy and shit. I'm talking about the good music, you know. Well, I'd love to play you a song. I don't have a guitar handy. I really would. You need to try the vape. And I'll tell you why, man, because for years, when I'd smoke a cigarette, I was like, man, this tastes like shit. You know, I couldn't even get up in the morning and directly smoke one because it tasted like shit. I don't like the taste of a cigarette. But, I did the vape. But the thing is, my friend down the way, he had a vape and I had a vape pen. And like right off, I mean, like hitting at it was like, yeah, I'm getting nicotine, but not enough. But when I bought this, man, yeah, it was over. Quit in a minute. Randy Rhoads, yeah, mine too. Randy Rhoads is probably about one of the foremost as far as good melodic metal. Love his looks. I smoked, it was Gambler. I bought it in a bag and rolled them, man. Cheap way out. I can smoke for a month on $20. This way actually cost me more, but I enjoy this. You know what I mean? I enjoy this. Well, actually, I don't now because it probably cost me about $20 for a bottle of vape juice, and that would be about what I would like vape through in a month. Okay, just because. No. You know what, Barry? I'll give you that, but they have video of the guy and way further more audio than what they've given us with Just Down the Hill. They have the FBI CSI there. They know how the crime went down. They know the cause of death. They know everything way more than we do. And I've already got this kind of pinned down to about where I think that the guy would be on the east side of Delphi there. That would be my hunch. Can I investigate that? No. Wish I could. I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, go ahead, man. It doesn't matter what. That doesn't matter. You're law enforcement or something like that, and you just know it don't. Or are you Michael Cunningham? Wow. You know what? I love it when people come on here to fucking argue with me. It makes my fucking day. No way, Steve Miller? Oh, man, you know what? I wanted to go see Steve Miller a long time ago, man. In fact, go back, and man, I forget the guy's name, because I had Steve Miller Band playing down here at Noblesville, and like little small letters at the bottom it said, Steve Miller will not be singing it, and they had some other guy in, man. If you go see a Steve Miller Band, it better be Steve Miller, straight up. Otherwise, you're getting screwed right up the backside. Yeah, well, they could get me to help, but what I need is their help. I need the help of law enforcement because I can look at where I think he was. But mind you, that's just a hunch from what I've taken in from evidence from law enforcement. But if I was looking into it, man, I would have had the FBI filter the people there down to an age, down to those who would work. You could narrow that down to a list of people that you could look through. Now, do they sound anything like that? Do they look like anything? You could really narrow that down. Why aren't they doing that? Maybe they are. I don't know, but that's the way that I would do it. And they got Kevin Hammond, the lone investigator on this case. I know Hammond. I don't like Hammond. I hope that CC Moore has been contacted. We got a hold of Lesenby about it. We knew he had already heard about it from the Fort Wayne case with John D. Miller. And I thought that's what they need to do, because if his DNA isn't in the database, and we believe that to be true, that's from Kim Riley. He said it's like the man had never committed a crime before. Well, there's only a couple ways that you can determine that. You can't look at a guy and tell that. It's got to be fingerprints or DNA. So if he has never committed a crime or has anything on record that's in a database, then, you know, narrowing that down to familial DNA down to a family would certainly help. And I would love to see that happen. It's been over a year and a half, and this guy should be caught. He should not be out there roaming around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the was that the Golden State Killer. Yeah, in the same manner. And you know what? I certainly hope that Lesenby has called her in and or to get her work on it, sent her the DNA, because if they have DNA, and here's the thing, a lot of people are like, well, they don't have DNA or they ain't got good DNA. Well, if they have DNA and they send that to her, she can trace that right down to a family. That is what she does with the computer. It will take that male to male gene and trace that right down to where it needs to be. That's how she narrowed it down to John D. Miller and his brother. And she says it's one of these two men. And it was. Now, if they could do that with the Delphi killer and narrow that down to who it is, that would be super. That would be like better than 5 Christmases when I was a kid. And you know what? I mean, I got all day. If you guys want to talk about the Delphi case, you know, I'm up for it. But, you know, we just did a live stream the other day, me and Greeno on this, covered a lot of it. And we edited that with the camcorder, the Sony camcorder. It came out beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We still got to get that rendered and uploaded, and it's over 2 hours long. Keep an eye for it. It'll be on WKAT channel. But you definitely don't want to miss that, because the first one, it had good audio, but the video was crappy. This is like way better video, and the editing in the background is super. $20 people. Wow. Look at me, everybody. I'm popular. And like 7 of them are Michael Cunningham. Thumbsing me down. Okay, this is where I should have brought like some pre-questions here, because I'm not really getting that much in the way of question. I was hoping that I would get a lot of questions. Still going to do what on Anthony's channel? Why the, you know, okay, yeah, I know you're not running. My thoughts on why the FBI was brought in. That has been a question that's been on my mind for since the beginning. I mean, the day that the girls were found, which was day 2, and prior to them being found, it was just 2 missing girls. And I mean, I say just 2 missing girls, but nobody knew any information on where they had went. They didn't know if they was abducted, if they had left purposely. You know, there was probably a lot of thoughts in law enforcement's head at that time. But you know, the sheriff said that there was like no signs of foul play, and they searched the whole trail. And everybody says like, well, why did they stop searching? Well, nobody knew they were there. 1, 2, there was no signs of foul play, and it was 2 missing girls. Now, the following day, when the bodies were found, the FBI were already there. Already. No crime had been committed to anyone's knowledge. The FBI is right there. Now, when the FBI comes in that fast, and we're talking about the Federal Bureau of Investigations, something's wrong, man. Something's up. Because when the FBI comes in, that's pretty bigwig, and there should be a reason that they come in. But 2 missing girls, I didn't understand that. And the simple fact that it's been over a year and a half and nobody's been arrested makes me wonder why the big boys were there. GBI? Oh, the FBI. You probably meant FBI. You know what? I have not heard shit from the FBI. They were supposed to. Okay, who's GBI? Georgia? Why? Why would they call Georgia? I mean, I don't know anything about like why Georgia FBI would come in. I mean, I can't tell you on that. I thought it was federal, like the FBI. But even with the FBI coming in, um, I don't know what to make of it. I just know that they was there like on day one of the when they found the girls, and nothing has popped up since. They was supposed to release a profile, never happened, never seen it, never came out. Well, you know what? They could review the case, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, but here's the thing: what are they going to find? The FBI couldn't, that the state of Indiana couldn't. I mean, if anybody knows this area, it's the local cops, and they're looking at the same evidence that I am. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I would like to think that Lesenby, but then again, man, Lesenby's a sheriff. That doesn't say anything for his investigatory skills. He's just a popular guy that got elected. Yeah, right. A new set of eyes on it. But here's the thing: if the guy's local, how would they know that? Well, I mean, I can see how they would know that, but how would they make a determination as to who it is? Shout out. All right. Shout out to Spencer Whittle. Somebody had to run, and then the chat board disappeared. Show up, chat board. I need you. Meanwhile, I'll sit here with my vape. I'll enjoy some nicotine. Thank you very much, Catherine. You know what? I would definitely take phone calls. But I got the hookup for the phone right here on this, and I do not know what's going on. The last time we tried it, we could either hear the person or they could hear us, but we couldn't connect back and forth. And that is the way it's supposed to work. If I had that hooked up right now, I'd be taking calls right off of Facebook. You could call right into a show live. That would be cool. No, it really wasn't. And if they did go into Ron Logan's property, it was I can't even say just barely. But when they were searching for the girls initially, I think that they searched the whole of the trail. Now, right there on the side that Ron Logan lives in, on the north side of the bridge, when you cross over there, right there, you're going on to Mira's property, and it has the stretch before you hit Ronald Logan's. So they may have went into Mira's property a little bit looking around, but I don't think that they went right down into Ronald Logan's, because if they did, especially in February, there was no leaves, no weeds, anything like that. They would have found the girls that night. No, you know what? Yeah, I could use Hangouts, but I don't really like Hangouts. I mean, I'd rather just go live like this. Yeah, no, I'm not 39. I'm 52. I'll be 53 in 2 months. I feel pretty like about 28. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm in great physical shape. I wouldn't lie about that. The video is not showing me. Anybody else having that issue? I'm getting no feedback. Okay. I don't know, Barry. It might be on. Okay. Thanks. Wilson's Cave? Explain Wilson's Cave. I don't know anything about it. Oh, you're a year and 1 month older than me. Hello, 100 subs. Yes, ask about Floor if you want. Lived there for a while. Yeah, and like I said, it's Q&A, so any question that you have, go ahead. If I feel it worthy, I'll read it. If you're being a Cunningham, I probably won't. Yeah, exactly. There was a arrest on the arson, but it wasn't the Flora fire arson, not the one that's in the papers. It was a store that a job where the guy had burnt that down. Yeah, exactly. Plumbing building. He was arrested. I think his name's Daryl Kreider. He went to Florida today. They was having some, I don't even remember what it was called. It was some kind of a little festival going on there. Yeah, we need BG to show up, but he wouldn't be under BG. Like, well, Barry Gibb maybe, but yes, I do. I have one daughter. And Woof, hey, you want to say hi? Cameraman, I'm on live. Okay, he's just staring at me. So anyway, that is where Greeno is today. Yes, you can. Send it to my Facebook account if you're on that. If not, you can reach me at Mr. Katt, Katt, 420, all one word, MRKATT 420 at gmail.com. Okay, man, I believe you, Barry. Calm down a little bit. Don't cry, man. 17, my popularity is waning. See, it's easier with two people. It really is, man. And me and Greeno's talked about that. You don't have Gmail, Facebook. You're online on YouTube. Just go to Facebook. There I am. Yeah, everyone share. You know what? Everyone like and share. But if you share it, the whole thing is that not many are going to take that in because it is just me and I'm just barely talking here. If there was two people like me and Greeno, it's kind of easy because when one of us finishes something, the other one can hop right in. We go back and forth like that. Makes it really easy. Thank you very much. 100 subs. But when I'm sitting here solo, then I got to wait for a question or just ramble. I'm not really a radio guy. No, no, man. I guess I can do that if I'm just sitting down in front of a camera, but live seems so much different, man. No, yeah, I seen that. I thought that was stupid. Somebody had posted on Facebook that I had made a sketch and I wasn't endorsed by law enforcement and don't believe this sketch. And I'm like, bitch, I can't even draw a stick figure. Man, I am not artistic in the least. Do you play games? Depends what kind of games. I play euchre a lot. Well, 19 now. Yay. You know what? It's probably because I mentioned Wolf. I play euchre online, but that's about it. Named Honey posted, yeah. I don't even know what the hell she was thinking. You know what? It goes back to my last other video, man. People get onto Facebook and they spread shit like peanut butter. And you know what? People that don't go elsewhere or fact check, they'll believe that shit every time out. I don't. If I get anything off of Facebook or if I see anything on Facebook, I don't even read it. I'm like, you know what? If it was real news, I would have heard about it before I hit Facebook. Guarantee you. People do. And you know what? For the amount of people that feed on shit like that, man, I mean, that makes me right there. Now I know why people read the National Enquirer. Because even when I was a kid, man, when I'd see a National Enquirer, I thought, who the hell reads this shit? You know, Loch Ness Monster has a baby. We have video, I mean, pictures. It's insane, man. And people go like, oh, look, it's real. No, it ain't real. No, I wouldn't chat with James Renner. What does James Renner know? James Renner goes out there and suddenly people think like, oh, he knows shit. I don't think he knows dick. I mean, I'll tell you right now, the foremost, not being braggadocio, the foremost people that know the most about this case outside law enforcement is myself and Greeno, because we have been on this for over a year and a half. We have checked every settle detail. We have been there. We know the area. We know every trail. We know the game trails that go through that woods. We know every inch of that fucking property. Euchre. My age is 52. I'll be 53 in November. And we have talked to the sheriff, the families, Daniel Nation's wife, Daniel Nation's, the state police. There isn't anybody that we have not spoken to directly. $52. In the chat box left. Sorry, Karina. Hold on a second. He'll be right back. Please don't be Michael Cunningham. Someone sketched Elmer Fudd and tried to pass it off for BG. Okay. Oh, you'll be 8? Okay. Well, happy birthday. You know what? There's a lot of people that you're really not going to hear from because they don't want to be in on the camera. You know, they don't want to stand up there and just talk their side about it. Otherwise, they would have been on Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, and all that crap. You know, they don't want it. And in a lot of ways, man, I side with them. You know, because during something like that, you are making yourself to be that person, because then people will reach you. They want to know your thoughts on this, your thoughts on that. Well, how do you feel? And you know what? Probably after the first 1,000 times of hearing it, it's probably old as shit. You probably wish you had never stepped up to the bat. So, yeah, I mean, there's family that you're not going to hear from. It doesn't mean they're hiding anything. I mean, the eyewitnesses know who they are. They've seen them. You know, it's not like they're out there hiding anything. They just don't want to talk. No, I don't think that law enforcement messed up. There's protocol to investigation. There really is. You go through the routes. There is nothing you could mess up. The FBI was there for the CSI. That wouldn't have been messed up. They know everything that I'm talking about because they've already went over it ages ago. So I don't think anybody messed up. It's just as simple as this. They're not arresting anybody. Well, I don't know. We don't know. Oh, one day, though. Yeah, I think he is local, but I've said that from the go. Hi, Tay. I thought he was local from the go because, you know, you're not going to have anybody at that little trail right there. Look, man, me and Greeno didn't even know that that trail was there, and we lived there, you know, and we did not know. The only people that really knew that trail was there was people very local. If a person had looked it up online to then go stalk it and hang out there and wait and all this, that person would have been a hit a long time ago because those records would have been there readily available. People that looked at that trail up, it would have gave them a name to look at right off the bat. So yeah, I think he's local. He made it back to Freedom Bridge, right there on Highway 25, walking without a car. I don't think that there was any car because no car was ever mentioned. If they thought that he had a car, they would have asked people, if you've seen a car in this area that day, called law enforcement. They would have said that. It never came out. When I asked Lesenby about it, he's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we never ever mentioned a car. So I do believe that he walked to Freedom Bridge and walked to where he was going without going down the highway. If he was walking down that highway, somebody would have seen him. Somebody would have picked him up. Somebody would have made it, you know. But I think that he made it across Freedom Bridge and he walked right into Delphi unseen. No, I don't really know any I mean, I know people from Delphi, but I'm not that familiar with the locals right there. And like I said, if it was a person that was local, knowing that he had been seen by two people, that they have his photo out there, they got his audio. The two eyewitnesses could see him at a store right there in Delphi or surrounding area. It's only 3,500 people. So, all you'd have to do is just be seen and you'd be hit. So I think that if he lived right there, he would have left. He thought, man, okay, I got to have a story, got a different job, something, but he would have moved the hell on. Do I believe that? The flannel shirt guy's first initial starts with a D. Well, what do you want? His name? You know what? I don't think that law enforcement's ever going to release more information. I don't. And if they do, it'll be absolute shit because they're not giving us anything that we need now to help pin it down. It's almost, to me, no, I'm not gay. Are you gay? Jerry Jr. Martinez, are you gay? Out with it. Okay, Jerry Jr. Martinez is gay. Now everybody knows. But they were stopping vehicles? Where? Where were they stopping vehicles? Hmm? Because if they were stopping vehicles that day, it was probably to ask anybody that was in that vicinity if they seen anybody at that, yeah, checkpoints, right? Well, yeah, and I'm sure that they did. Because, I mean, like, you have a crime scene where, like, two girls were missing, found dead. They was probably asking anybody that was going up and down those roads, had they seen anybody yesterday at approximately this time, because they was looking for that guy. And I don't know at that time, although if it was day 2, I don't know exactly at what point they got the photos from off that video. I don't know when that happened. But I'm sure at that time they was looking for anybody. Did you see anybody around here? What am I talking about? The Delphi murder. What are you talking about? No, exactly. Thank you, Danielle. Exactly. On the 13th, they was looking for two girls. There was no reason to believe otherwise. Even law enforcement said that there was no signs of foul play. So it was two missing girls. They weren't looking exactly for anybody till the next day. But at that time, yes, then they was looking and asking everybody, did you see anyone that was in this area? That sort of thing. Try to narrow it down to a few people to talk to right off. Cumulus Katt. That's what they call me now. Is there anybody that's on here that is from the Delphi area? Anybody that's been to the trails? I bring that up for the reason of if you go out to those trails, if you go out and you follow the crime scene, the way that we believe it to be, which I am about 100% certain on, because I don't think it could go down any other way than the way that it did like that. But if you had and you'd been out there and you look at that, the guy knew. The guy knew where he was taking him. He knew why he was taking him there. It can be seen from the trail or the bridge. It was secluded. Nobody could see you right there. He had determined all this. He had ran it through in his mind. He knew where he was going, where he was leaving, how he was going to leave. When he made it back to Freedom Bridge, he disappeared, man. He was gone without being seen. Nobody seen him leave. You know, he walked to Freedom Bridge, gone with the wind, not being seen. That's insane. And to me, that says he lives right there in Delphi in a place where he could go and disappear without being seen. Man, my chat disappeared again. 24. Oh, 23 people. Man. Man, now I feel like a schlub. Look at me. Sitting here, 23 people. I expected better, Wolf. Oh, man. You know what? My chat box. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, more info would jeopardize the case, and chances for a fair trial against the criminal has more rights. Not really. And it totally depends upon what information you're talking about. You know what? If there's a bank robbery, what's the first thing they do? They release the video of the guy going in and doing it. You know this guy with close up on his face. Doesn't harm the case. I don't see him go, well, they released my picture. Well, defense, man, you make a point. Guess we got to call this none. Dismissed, man. Go about your way, bank robber. You know, it don't go down like that. There's information that they don't want to give because only the killer knows that. That they don't want to release. Because if only the killer knows and they can keep that secret, they'll ask this shit. If somebody came in to confess to the crime, tell us how it happened. Because they can listen to that and they'll be like, no, guy's lying. The guy wants attention. The guy's a troll. The guy spreads shit on Facebook and all that. But as far as any information, I'll give you an example. I got a hold of Leslie. I wanted the timestamp. I said, okay, at what time was the video taken of him crossing the bridge right there on Libby's phone? That would tell me how far back behind him it was and how well he knew that bridge to cross it. That would tell me local, if he was watching them, and then crossed once they head to the south side, which I believe to be true. Now, if I had that timestamp, I could tell you a lot more. What'd he say? Well, according to code, blah, 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 and so on, of Indiana, state of Indiana, we can't give that to you because we don't want to give that to you because this is a part of the investigation. So, in other words, you know, they won't tell you shit. Nothing. I mean, like what? Do they think that the suspect goes, yeah, I know exactly what time that was? No, but it knows that it would definitely help us to pinpoint a time so that we could further investigate. They don't want that. If only they're investigating, that's what they want. It ain't solved. Well, we don't know who did it. We don't know. When we're looking at up and down every avenue with Kevin Hammond. It's bullshit. They're not going to solve this case. You know what? When they aren't solving it, it's because they don't want it solved. Hey, how you doing, Miss Angel? Welcome back, 100 subs. Let me see. I didn't even catch the troll comment. Schlub. Sloth. A schlub. You know what? I don't even correctly know the full definition for a schlub. No, it was the kill site. The kill site was not in a barn. That's Robert Lindsay's crap. He said that they was taken to the barn and killed, and the guy brought him back late. No, that guy went over there, killed him, man, covered him up. Shortly after the fact, he left. He was seen leaving by flannel shirt guy. Okay, he was seen leaving at 247, walking toward Freedom Bridge. So we know that it was done at that point. We know he was leaving at that point. Now, the picture of Abby was taken at 2:07. That's 40 minutes from the time that picture was taken for him to get over there, abduct him, take him down, cross over to Ron Logan's property, kill him, commit the crime, whatever the crime may have been, and try to cover him up and leave. 40 minutes. That's a very short span. No, there is nothing that I wish to really say But there are some things that I don't say. I mean, there's like people's names, and it's like, you know what? I don't want people because I know some people online. You give a person's name, everybody and their brother will contact him, and it's like, this is why I didn't want my name out there. So there are like the suspects, or I mean, excuse me, the eyewitnesses. I'm not giving their names. You may know who they are, but I'm not going to give their names because for what good would that do you, me, or them? None. You're not going to draw anything out of them that law enforcement hasn't. You see where I'm at? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Robert Lynn. You know what? I got good hair, but I'm no Stu Sutcliffe. No, okay. They haven't announced a connection between April Tinsley and the Delphi murders. And I kind of, you know what, my mistake, and I'm generally correct, know that already. But when I put that title up there, I put connections, and it really should have been similarities rather than connections, because John D. Miller didn't commit the Delphi murders, but I did find it to be very odd that, he lives like about a little less than 2 hours up the highway, and he's one just exactly like the Delphi killer. They probably think in a very similar way, because who in their right mind would just go out and kill two young girls? There's, I mean, why? I mean, what's your motive to go kill a little girl? You got to be very twisted. You can't be right upstairs. And again, let me go back to the picture here real fast. We got three pictures of the guy. If you call those pictures, I really don't. I think they're just too pixelated to call anything like a real picture. But the law enforcement's like, we need somebody to identify the man in this picture. Somebody knows who he is. Well, you know what? I don't think anybody knows who he is. We got a sketch of the guy. Nobody knows who he is. So here's the thing. A lot of people know who that man is. That man is not alone in the world, never met anybody. A lot of people know who he is. The people that know him will say, yeah, he was always a little messed up, but I never assumed. Well, you're never going to assume that somebody will go do that until they go do it. It ain't like they're sitting out there talking about it all day. Like, man, I really want to go kill two young girls. It's never going to happen. But a lot of people know who this guy is. And if ever this guy is arrested, everybody's going to say the same thing I'm telling you right now. There was absolutely no way to identify that guy in that picture. None. It didn't even look like him in that picture, is what they'll say. The sketch, well, it didn't look that much like him. I never assumed. Well, he always kept to himself. He always seemed a little odd, but we never thought. A revenge kill. Wasn't a revenge kill. Please stop. No, I don't think that the serial killer or I don't think that the suspect is a serial killer, because I have no murders to connect him to outside of this. None. Zero. For me to think that he's a serial killer, I'd have to connect other cases and say, well, these look a whole lot alike. Truth is, you see, I am not looking at the evidence. I'm not looking at the full amount of evidence like law enforcement is. So I can't connect other cases. Now, if there was another case that I could connect him to, then I'd say, well, this possibly, this maybe, but there is no way for me to fully say. Without evidence, you're only taking a crap shot, man. You're just making theory. Why two girls at one time? You know what? It probably was not his intent to kill two. I mean, I'm sure that didn't stop him from committing the crime, but the simple fact is, I think that he had waited there off and on for a while. It was a nice day to hike, right? Okay, it was February, not a lot of hikers, probably something that he thought about. He'd go down there because he was waiting for someone to show up that fit his mental image of what he wanted in the victim. It wouldn't just be any woman. It wouldn't be just any kid. It was a person that resembled what it is that he wanted in his head. He already had the crime committed in his head. He knew where he was going to take him. He knew it was secluded. He knew nobody could see him there. He knew they couldn't be seen from the trail. So when two girls showed up without supervision, then, there it was. There was nobody hiking. They was walking down to the bridge. I'll follow them. If they head to the south side, walk over. Not a theory if he's recognized. Wait, no, it wouldn't be a theory if he's recognized, but I don't think anybody could recognize him off that photo. That's my point. I don't know which one was his ideal girl. I'm not that guy. I have no clue. I don't know anything like that. I mean, you know what? I could just sit here and speculate and go, well, you know, what I really believe. But you know what I'd be doing? I'd be spreading shit like peanut butter, just like on Facebook. Make no mistake, I don't do that. If it has no fact to back it up, that's that. It probably ain't coming out of my mouth. And if it is something that I think, such as he lived there in Delphi, I'm telling you that for the reasons that I'm telling you that, from what I'm seeing and what law enforcement's looking at. Same way. We know he got there and he disappeared. He disappeared without being seen, no car. Well, where do you go in Delphi where you ain't going to walk down the road to get to your house? You got to cross that bridge, take the railroad tracks down to where you're going, and there it is. There are no new updates, and there haven't been since the sketch came out over a year ago. Law enforcement at the year press conference said the same thing. We need somebody to identify the man in this picture. Somebody knows him. Now, today might not be your day, or today might be your day, suspect, and maybe tomorrow, but one day, mark my words, we're going to get you. Well, that just sounds like what they say at absolutely every single case. Identically. It's their go-to words that keeps us believing that they're out there busting their ass to get this guy. Well, guess what? A year and a half in, I stopped believing a long time ago that they was out there to get that guy. They passed Daniel Nations off as the prime person of interest. Perfect person of interest. The perfect person of interest was Daniel Nations. They knew that. They made the sketch look like him, for the love of God. They took his mugshots and said, here, man, make somebody that looks like him. And, you know, and that's what they did. First thing you hear in the media, Daniel Nations arrested in Colorado, a person of interest in Delphi murders. And you just lined it up side by side. They get our attention on him. So then we're looking at somebody. Then we're waiting. You see what I mean? They send like state cops out there to go talk to him. And then after, when they talk to him, they're like, yeah, but at this time, we can neither include nor exclude him. Well, that's because you didn't talk to him, you lying pricks. You didn't do fuck. You wait till he got back in here, talk to him, and then you say, yeah, we don't believe that he had anything to do with it. And that's all we got to say about Daniel Nations. Now, can we wrap this big show up and go home? We're tired of repeating our sorry ass selves. That's fucking law enforcement. Thank you very much, Miss Angel. Yep, almost word for word, Radar. Exactly. Same thing applied in the Aubrey Trail. You know, it's like this in almost any killing like that. They come out, they create a tip fund, you know, where like people can give money. They have people donate. They build it in the media. They say the identical words. And then somebody's making money off the top right there. Know that. So it's not going to be solved. What happens if law enforcement solves it? Where does that money go then? Anybody ever question that? Like, where does that money go if law enforcement solves it? Is it given back to the people, or does somebody else get it? Do I feel that that was his first murder? Who looks over 40? I can't tell you the bridge guy looks over 40. I can't tell you if he's over his teens, or I can't tell you if he's 60. There's no way to tell that. I don't think that they botch the investigation. They investigate by protocol. They have the ways that they do that. Nobody can just go in and fuck it up. Well, that's it. I fucked it up. You can't do that. There is no way. Okay, 79 missing people in Indiana. They're going back to the 60s. Yeah. Yeah, and probably a lot of them ended up in the river, buried in a junked car. Some of them may have just ran off, joined the circus. No, it's been given already. That is the money. They can contaminate the scene. I'll give you that. It was outdoors. The FBI was there. They're CSI. If FBI went in and contaminated the scene, somebody's ass would be fucking hit for that. No, you know, I don't think that they should release any more of the video other than just that little step he's taken. And I'm positive that she wasn't sitting there going like that, viewing him. You know, she clicked that on record, turned it around, and was probably sticking it in her pocket. And probably the whole thing behind that is that's what law enforcement has, is that quick little whoosh across right there. That's it. Because if they had any more video of the guy, especially anything like up close, personal, anything like that, the guy would have been arrested. At least that's my thoughts. I think law enforcement is severely dragging their feet. You're not going to hear shit about this unless it's on somebody's channel, you know, but they're not arresting anybody. They're not talking. They ain't saying shit. They don't want you to know shit. Ask them shit. They won't give it to you. You want shit real bad? Go to Facebook. It's full of it. I should call it like shit book. It's become my like nemesis, man, my arch rival. People get on here and ask me shit like right off of Facebook, and it's like, how in the fuck would I know? How would I know that? Ain't no fucking way. Nobody knows that. Anybody says they do, they're lying, man. They're straight lying to you. They want you to believe something not real. All right, my chat box disappeared again. It's constantly disappearing. Well, let me take a vape here real quick. Chat box gone. Well, I have Wolf here. Thanks for being here with me, Wolf. Appreciate it. Oh, wait. Okay, I'll pop back up. Illegal alien using false name? Maybe. You know what? I definitely, considering the color that he looks in the photo, I thought that one reason that that might happen would be like somebody from Canada. I'm throwing a guess out. The eyewitnesses didn't say he looked Mexican. Okay. But Canadian, how would you really know unless he said a lot? This right here has 6 milligrams per milliliter. Now, the other one I have on the small vape had 50, and if I hit that in here, I would be knocked the hell out from nicotine. Yeah, I do too. If we had that video of him taking that step, it would show him in a clearer form. Now, one thing that I hated was when the family was on like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, they always repeated the same thing. No, those pictures are as good as they get. That's what they'd call it, pictures, not images off of video, which is what it is. Those are images that was taken off of the video, not a picture. She didn't take a picture of him. She put it on video record, okay? And that's what caught that of him. Then they said, okay, well, we can't enhance these any better. You don't need to, because they have the fucking video. The FBI saying, no, we tried. We tried, and we got a hold of Disney, and we got a hold of these people, and we got a hold of NASA. That's as good as it gets. Well, why would law enforcement, or why would the FBI say that shit when they're holding video that looks clear? They're fucking lying, just like Doug Carter. Just exactly like Doug Carter. Lying. Like Indiana State Police, lying. Why are they lying? Why isn't it being solved? That's a question right there, man. No, they got her phone. They do. Yeah, Kennedy. Way up north there. I agree. CC Moore would probably fine-tune this right down to, you know, even if the guy didn't live local, it's beside, you know, aside of her. She don't care. You know, it doesn't matter if the guy's local. She can trace that right down to a family and say, you know what, following this right down, you're probably looking at one of these siblings right here. there are like, I mean, we could say he has 2 other brothers. It'd be one of these 3 guys. You go to their garbage, just like they did with John D. Miller, pull something out that would have DNA on it, test that DNA against what they got, boom, got the guy. And CC Moore is right now, and I don't know what's holding up the investigation. They have methods of investigating. They should have had this traced right the fuck down to somebody over a year and a half ago. When that picture came out, I thought, this guy's hit. It's over, man. This guy be arrested like this time tomorrow. Over a year and a half later, we don't know, man. Yeah, we got Kevin Hammond, man. He's working hard, man. He'll be your next sheriff, that lying fat motherfucker. You know, that's what they're doing, man. They aren't saying jack shit. Man, I cuss way too much. I really do. And you know what? I apologize to that. I try to keep this family friendly. You know, and my puppy's sitting right there. So what was too expensive? CC Moore? Yeah, they are. They totally are. You know what? Here's another similarity between the Iowa girls and here. When the 2 girls were missing and then found dead, they named that, I think it was called something like 2 Angels Trail or something like that for the girls. Then they also want to name, I think it's the baseball or the softball or whatever thing after the girls here. They got a reward fund in both. They said the same thing in both, but nobody's arrested. Now, in Iowa, a lesser profile case, I assume, than what Delphi is, they had a whole breakdown profile of the guy. He's very familiar with these areas. He drives this kind of vehicle. They had all of that laid out. Now, we was told way over a year ago that we was getting the FBI profile for the guy. Never happened. Never. No, it didn't. If you're talking about, well, they got his height and weight and approximate this and that and so on, yeah, that's called approximating. That's called like local law enforcement just saying shit, but that ain't no fucking profile. That ain't dick. I'm sure the funds could be raised. But you know what? I don't think so at all. In fact, CC Moore had told me on that she heard about the Delphi case from its beginning and that she would be happy to help with that. I mean, even if she's taking money for it, I mean, like $250,000. They did it up here as 30 years after the fact. Just throwing it out there, man. They got the money. I don't even know how much money they had in the April Tinsley case. I don't even know if they had money in the April Tinsley case like that. Oh, yeah. Bridge guy totally knew the area. Brittany, I've talked about that in a lot of my videos. You know, that even like right off, he knew the area. I mean, he totally knew that area. If you went to the Monon High Bridge and walked that path right there, where he abducted him down that way to a secondary car path over to the creek and cross, when you get there and you see the horse trails right there at Ronald Logan's, that they go right up that way and cut back across, you would say, yeah, that guy knew exactly where to take him. He knew where he was going. He had it pre-planned exactly how it was going to go down when that person arrived and there was nobody around to stop him. He was going to take him. He was going to abduct him, take him right over there where they couldn't be seen from anywhere. And then he was going to go back up, hit the 501 trail and get the fuck out. Now, without a car and having waited there in the past, knowing that area the way that he did, he had been there for some time. It wasn't just that day. He didn't go there that day to look that place over and knew it like that. No way in hell. The guy was local. Now, I cannot say exactly that he's from Delphi, but I'm saying that would be one place where I'd be looking immediately because he wasn't seen leaving. Oh, thank you very much, Miss Angel. And I'm sorry, I'm cussing right in front of an angel, everybody. You know, and I don't try, but sometimes, man, some shit, especially this case, gets under my skin in a bad way. You know what? Yeah. Thanks, Brittany. Because, and again, that's why I put in one of my videos is that, he could be a hunter. And he very well may have asked Ronald Logan or the Mears or anybody right around there if he could hunt on their property. I mean, and even being a hunter, I know he's an outdoors type person. Is he goes outdoors equipped, so to speak, because he did know that area. He totally knew where he was taking him, where he was going to go. Probably a hunter and very much local. I would probably not be searching out of a 10-mile radius from Delphi. I think he's probably right there from in and around Delphi. But that's looking at it from my point of view, not law enforcement's. I do not have their investigation. I don't have investigators. I don't have any way to go look into these things. I can't go talk to those people. Those people could probably kill me for asking shit. Yeah. Yeah, when he left, he went straight back up that horse trail, right back up to where the cemetery is, and cut a left back over to the 501 trail. He wanted to do that for a simple reason. He didn't have a car at the cemetery. No, he didn't. I don't care. If Facebook said it, they're lying. He was seen leaving toward Freedom Bridge. So, case closed on that. No car at the cemetery. Okay. So having been seen leaving right there, we know that he went up, walked back over to the 501. I think that he's seen Cheyenne. I do, because she didn't see him, but that was approximately at the time he would have been getting up to the trail. I think he was walking quick, but not running to draw attention to himself. And when he seen Cheyenne, he got behind a tree, let her pass, got out to the 501, started walking back toward Freedom Bridge. The only person that had seen him at that time was the lady earlier in the day. And I think she walked up on him because when he seen her, he thought, okay, she's seen me. Can't take off running, would look stupid, hadn't committed a crime, and talked to him for a brief second and went on about her way. But she seen him there earlier, long before the girls got there. So we know that he was already there waiting. He was waiting for someone to show up without supervision. That was the whole of his plan. The clothes he was wearing, he wore them out of there. Well, we don't know that they'd be bloody because we don't know the cause of death. He would have maybe changed his clothes once he got home. When he got home, I'm sure he changed his clothes. But here's the thing. The guy didn't know his photo was out there. Okay? He knew he was seen by a woman. So, why run and change your clothes so fast? He didn't know he was on that. We're looking back at it. Now we know that they have a photograph. He didn't know that. He didn't have any clue he was being audio. He didn't know there was a photograph. The only person that he thought that had seen him up to that time was the lady earlier in the day walking her dogs. That was it. That was the only person that seen him. And his thoughts there, because there was no audio or video, not that he knew of, he thought, well, they can't say I did it. You see where I'm at? They wouldn't say you did it. Yeah, yes, Brittany. I've been on that for a while. I think that to me, it looks like he lives right there on the east side of Delphi. But again, I'm using my own judgment on that. I'm not, I can't look any further into it. Now, if law enforcement has more evidence that they're not giving us that says that he's not local, then we don't know what that is. But if he's not local, he had to leave without being seen and without a car. So we know he wasn't out there hitchhiking. So it looks to me like he hit Freedom Bridge and made it home without being seen. I don't think that they did. But see, here's the thing with that first night search. It was two girls that were very familiar with that area. They knew that area. They'd been there many, many times. No way they was going to get lost. Not right there on that on Deer Creek, because they knew the area. One of the girls lived right up the road, not staying in a house, but right up the road from there. So we know that they was very familiar with that. There wasn't no way that one of them would get hurt and the other couldn't get help. You know, if I was law enforcement, my thought probably would have been abducted, but not sitting out there freezing to death because they did know the area very well. And infrared will really mainly work if the person's alive or had been dead for X long. You know what? I've been on here over an hour. It doesn't seem like it, does it? Well, seems a little shorter than that. You know what? You guys are a good time. I hope you enjoy hanging out with me. Remember that one time when we walked out in the woods and I was ginseng hunting? God, that was such a good time. I'll never forget that. No, Freedom Bridge doesn't go to Indiana Packers. If you go to Google, put in Delphi, Indiana, and then click maps. Now, if you go to the east side, because you could also put in Monon High Bridge Trail, that will take you right there to it. Now, when you go west of that and you follow that trail right back out to the highway, that little bridge right there, that's Freedom Bridge. It used to be the train bridge. The bridge went over there, or the train went through right there on that bridge, heading back in around Delphi. But Indiana Packers is a couple miles south of there. Duffel bag was mentioned. I don't know. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? A duffel bag was mentioned. Any updates on that? You know what? If one was mentioned, they never made anything on it. They never really said anymore. But I think that the guy had like all of his tools on him because you can kind of see him in the front. And again, that was another that kind of stuck out in my mind, like right off. It was a warm day in February, rather warm day. And this guy had on like a shirt and a hoodie and a jacket, but you can clearly see he has stuff in his jacket. He wasn't carrying a duffel bag, so I don't think that he had a duffel bag with him. It might have been something that they say, right off the bat, but it could just be Facebook shit. I don't know. No, I don't believe that there was any accomplice at all because look, this is me on that. If I'm taking a guy to go do something like that, and then I'm going to go pick him up, really? I mean, you see my point. Even if he called somebody and then they came and got him, well, somebody would have had to take him there. That person would know. Isn't nobody going to turn down $250,000? Nobody. They'd say, you know what? My ex best friend, that son of a bitch, did it right there. Go arrest him. The same night? Yeah, I don't know about that. Because you know what? That was on the 13th. The 14th is when they found him. And I don't even think that they started with anything until after the girls were found. And right away, it was a crime scene that they was investigating. So it seems like that they could have found pretty quick. Maybe. But then again, we don't know. Plus they didn't have the eyewitnesses at that time. Flannel shirt guy didn't say he seen him leaving. And when flannel shirt guy talked to Derek, it was just because there was two girls that was out there not answering their phone. It wasn't a crime. Nobody knew murder. Nobody knew anything was up at all. Flannel shirt guy, he told him, man, he said, well, I seen a woman back there with her friend at the bridge, but it wasn't two girls. That was that. He didn't say, well, I seen a guy leaving, because why would you? Why would you say that? There wasn't any reason. Well, my chat box just left one more time. I tired of the chat box. I should have a chat box right here, or right up here. So I will sit and I will dwell for a time. Dwelling. You know what? I like to hit the vape when I dwell. I like good cumulus cloud when I dwell a lot. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Oh, okay, it's back. No, Eric Coulter is not a suspect. He's a troll. You know what? There's probably a multitude of places where somebody could have been on a lunch break, but the thing is that guy was there for a long time. He didn't just show up there to kill somebody and leave. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell for further, Thank you very much, man. Michael Cunningham, please leave, please. Hit that like button. Yeah, Eric Alter is a wannabe suspect. He wants people to think it could have been him. That's why he makes videos like, making mock of it and shit like that. Don't believe that. Don't believe anything on Facebook. If you do, why are you here? Why are you here, man? Why are you listening to me? And you know what? Actually, on persons of interest, I would like to talk about that real quick. If it's anybody right there around County Road 300, flannel shirt guy would know them. So would probably the lady that was walking her dog that day, because they frequent those trails daily. Daily. They know every face that shows up there. But the thing is the guy, the suspect, okay? He was out there, but he didn't want to be a face there. He didn't want to run into people. He was probably not on the 501, but on the 505, keeping an eye on who came in. Because if somebody came in that fit his mental image of what he wanted in a victim, then he could go back out. He could see that they was walking down to the bridge, keep an eye back behind him, see if anybody was coming, follow him down to the bridge, keep an eye back behind him. Because once they head to that south side of the bridge, he knows, looking back behind him, if there's no hikers coming, he's got time enough to get over there and hustle them down over to where he wants them to be. He already had it set up in his mind exactly how he was going to do it. So he didn't show up there to be a face. He showed up there to be very secluded, to stay hidden. He knew the area. And again, that says local, just being there often enough to know that area like that. He'd been on Ron Logan's property in the past. He'd been on Mira's property in the past. Go on. You see, Daniel Nations knows how to reach me, everybody. He knows exactly how to reach me. And he wouldn't ask stupid Michael Cunningham questions. So, booger off. Oh, man. It's back. Okay. Yeah, you know what? They say that they returned to the scene of the crime, but I don't think that he really left the scene of the crime if he was local. And furthermore than that, hold on, still reading another one. You heard something about a white rental car? Is that just rumor? You bet. Because if it was a white rental car, they would have had the guy nailed in a minute. If they do return to the scene of the crime, well, okay, let's say that the cops were out there 24 hours a day and waiting for somebody to show up. I mean, you know what, man? I went out there. Me and Greenos went out there. Not a cop in sight. But even if they seen him, would they know it was him? Would they walk up and just go, yeah, but you're here. Let's get your DNA? Hell no. Yeah. Yeah, right. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Anyway, I'm going to round this off here. I'm going to go 8 more minutes. So if you have any questions, throw them out there. Any questions? Stop crying. It does nobody no good. Man, you know what? I gotta wonder, what's my thumbs down count going to be here? Mike Cunningham has a lot of accounts, people. He can just swap those in like all day long, but it's a view every time. Every time. Every single time. It's a view. Well, there's no. No, I don't think the Florida fire and Delphi crime are related. I mean, not by the same person or something. I mean, why would the Delphi killer go burn down a house? Seven minutes. 7 minutes, everyone. Let's get a good question out there, man. Oh, right. Yeah, that was another one. See, man, I kind of forget what I'm talking about sometimes when I'm reading other comments here for questions. But I think that there might be something to the fact that, look, the suspect had tools on him. Okay. He was going to go commit a murder upon somebody that he wanted. I think that there is a very good likelihood that the guy brought something to take pictures with. That way he could go back through those pictures, relive that moment. You see what I mean? Maybe it was a phone, maybe it was a camera. We don't really know. But I think that he probably did take pictures. No, I was going at 5:30. Why did he pass up several other people? Because that wasn't the person that he wanted. I mean, who's going to take a woman with dogs? What you going to do with the dogs? That woman may not have fit his mental image of the person that he wanted. Maybe he wanted a younger girl. You know, I don't know. But he was waiting for somebody to show up that fit his mental image. And it happened when the girl showed up. They didn't have anybody supervised. There was no one behind him. There it was. Boom. Do I think he had a gun? Probably. I don't know that a knife would have worked. I mean, you know, you could walk up with a knife, grab one of them, and that might work, perhaps. But, you know, a gun, guess what, man? You know, then, you know, you got to do what this guy says. He could kill you. Are you going to kick some ass? Who, me? Yeah, depending. Whose? Give me a name. We can believe that all day. Thanks, JoJo. Oh, man, chat box disappeared. Yeah, you know what? We can believe that they fought, but here's the thing. If you got a gun and the guy's not hurting you at that point, why would you fight? I mean, you see what I mean? It's a safer bet to just go along with what he's saying to a point, but to fight somebody, to try to do that when the guy's got a weapon like that, it doesn't make a lot of sense, man. And the guy's a real monster to do anything like that to a girl, even to kill or anything else that he may have done. So she may have, and you know what? If she did fight, I wish she would have kicked his ass. Wish she would have beat him down. A Satanist related crime. You know what? It was on the 13th, day before Valentine's Day, but I think if there was any Satanist that was at that high of a degree where they would go out to do this for Satan, I think that other people that were in that knew the guy, maybe, maybe not, but for $250,000, let me tell you, like a Satanist just ain't gonna hold back on the truth. They'd be like, "Woo, $250,000, people! Yeah, you go, Satan. You did me well." Yeah, I do too. Yeah, it's been the longest Christmas ever waiting. Would love to see the guy get arrested, and when he is arrested, know this: I will be there every day he goes to court, every single time. I will be at the jail, and you know what? They won't hold him in Carroll County. You know, they moved Ronald Logan from Carroll County to Damn it, man. Now the county escapes me. Man, it's just south of me one. But anyway, they moved him down to there for his own safety. Well, they didn't have him in population. So I'm thinking, like, man, what in the hell was they screaming at that guy? You know, Carroll County's a little jail, man. Did time in there a couple times. Not a fun place, rather boring. You didn't get fed a lot under Dennis Randall. You got a honey bun and a shot of Tang for breakfast. Okay, Radar, I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know where you got that from, but you need to look into that because if law enforcement didn't say it, it's probably absolute crap that somebody was spreading on Facebook. Arrest the future sheriff. You know what? That's the investigator right now. It'll probably be Kevin Hammond because he's been around. A lot of people know he's a piece of shit. You know, he's a lying fat cocksucker, that kind of. But man, can I get sued for that? You know, maybe I should switch that name around and call him like Kevin Hammond or Heaven Cammon or something like that. Yeah, he'll probably be the next sheriff because they passed around, man. It's called corruption. You know, hey, you worked here for a long time. Want to be sheriff? Want to make that money? Do you? Yeah. You know what? And it might be a play too. They might wait, you know, for a little while and then go, "Yay, Kevin Hammond got him. Yeah, all right. You know, you're next sheriff, buddy. You're a big wig. You're not a fat lying bastard." Man, hey, Harvey Carroll. No new info to share. But you know why? It was Q&A, but it's a little unfortunate at this time because the only questions people are going to have is on the Delphi case. Man, I have a 52-year-long life, people. I could have answered any question. You blew it. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. It is 5:30. I thank you all for joining me. If you haven't hit that subscribe, please do. Hit the like button. I only see 14. Man, you know what? There was well over 50 people here, and I only got 14 thumbs up. People are leaving now. All right. I will see you in my next video, everyone. Peace.